Hi, my name's Dave. I'm 48 years old and I was diagnosed as having prostate cancer on the 31st of October 2023. That diagnosis came about after I didn't feel particularly well over the Christmas New Year period last year in 2022. I had various issues with regards to urinary problems, had a bit of a fever, and took myself off to the doctors, whereby I was given a couple of sets of antibiotics which kind of cleared those particular problems up. Felt fine for a couple of months, continued real life with regards to going to work, continuing playing a lot of sport, did play a lot of football, road running, go to the gym, dog walking, etc. Felt fine until about April, May time, when all of a sudden those symptoms seemed to come back again, but not as severe as what they were in the January. And decided to take myself off to the doctors to have a bit of a checkup, really, because I just didn't feel very well, albeit I was still functioning, still going to work and still playing all my sport. As the doctor's appointment got a bit nearer in May time 2023, I did consider at some points just cancelling the appointment, because I thought I was a little bit of a fraud, because I was still kind of going out running and kind of doing bits and pieces physically, and didn't feel too bad mentally, but I just felt I kind of had to keep the appointment. There was just a sixth sense that kind of told me to get down the doctors and get sorted out, because there was clearly something that wasn't quite right, albeit it wasn't affecting my day-to-day life. Had an appointment, had a chat with the doctor, and obviously over the past couple of months I've done a lot of research into the symptoms that I'd had in the January time, and the symptoms that were kind of coming back, with the December, January time, and the symptoms that were coming back. And obviously it was highlighted through Google and various other searches that you do that potentially I could have had a problem with my prostate. And my father was diagnosed with prostate cancer a few years ago in his late 70s. He has now kind of recovered and got over that. And I thought it was important when I went to the doctors to let them know about that. There might be a family history, and the fact that I'd never had any sort of prostate check at all, bearing in mind I was kind of 47 going on to 48 years old at the time. At the appointment, the doctor examined me, and during that examination the doctor discovered that there was a bit of an area of concern through the examination. Didn't think it was anything to worry about, and said that he'd refer me to the local hospital to see the specialist department there, just to get the kind of another checkup. Went through that procedure and also had a PSA blood test, which I'd never had before. And during the time of waiting for the second appointment, the PSA blood test came back that I had quite a high PSA score, which was around 3.5. Again, went to the hospital, had the same examination and the same result, an area of concern. The next step was an MRI scan, and again that showed an area of concern in exactly the same place where the previous two doctors showed. The next part of the procedure was then to have a biopsy, to take clearly a biopsy in and around that area that has been causing concern. And that biopsy was done. And basically it was then a bit of a wait for the results of the biopsy. Scary thing about all this for me is that in between waiting from May time to having the biopsy, which was done in and around the early part of October, I felt fine. There was no need to go back to the doctors, no infections, no symptoms, nothing at all. Still running long miles, running 7-minute miles, which isn't too bad for a 47-year-old at the time, playing lots of football, and still leading an active life, and kind of going to work on a daily basis, and not really feeling bad, poorly, sick, no illness whatsoever. I just basically felt well. I was still playing football matches. I had the biopsy done and played a football match a couple of weeks after the biopsy, played 90 minutes, and I played a football match 90 minutes before the 31st of October, when basically I was told I had prostate cancer. Had I not gone to that doctor's appointment, I would never have known that I had prostate cancer. The diagnosis was a Gleason score of 9, which is high risk of spreading and an aggressive cancer. And it's on a scale of 6 to 10, so I was a 9. And up until the point when the doctor said that I had prostate cancer, I thought I was just going to walk out of there with a set of antibiotics to take and all would be well and I'll just resume normal life. I'm sat here now. Tomorrow I have got an operation to have my prostate removed. And it's going to be a long road of recovery, and it's going to be hard, it's going to be tough. Up until now, other than obviously the worry about having cancer and what is going to happen in the future, it's not really felt that real. But tomorrow I've got a feeling once I come out of the hospital it will feel real, and it's going to be a long road to recovery. The main thing about this video and some charity work that we're going to be doing going forward is to try and raise awareness, because nobody would ever know that there was anything wrong with me. As I say, I was still running long distances at good times. I was still playing 90 minutes football, and I just would never have known. And it's just pure luck, or I say pure luck, it's just good fortune that I took myself off to those appointments for those infections that I had and requested to have the PSA blood test done, because who knows how aggressive the cancer would have spread. Since I was diagnosed, I've sat and had CT scans, I've had bone scans, and was sat in the nuclear medicine department having a bone scan, and I was just thinking to myself, what on earth am I doing sat in the nuclear medicine department? I didn't even know a place like that existed, having a bone scan. And I just felt a fraud, because the day before I'd been out running, doing gym work, and you just wouldn't know anything was wrong with me. And it is just so scary how some people will not take themselves off to the doctors, and how quickly cancer can spread, and how prostate cancer is a real silent killer, because I just wouldn't have known. And it's just been very, very lucky that it's been picked up. Very, very lucky as a result of the CT scans and the bone scans that it's not spread to other parts of my body. And fingers crossed the operation all goes well tomorrow, and going forward get myself plenty of rest, plenty of recovery, and then hopefully into the mid to the end of the year go out and do some stuff to raise some money for charity. And the aim at the moment is to run around the perimeter of the Isle of Wight, which would be 70 miles over a 3-day period, and raise money for prostate cancer and other cancer charities. So that's the plan. Fingers crossed it all goes well tomorrow, and we'll keep everybody updated. Thank you. Cheers.